Okay, in this video, we're going to take the MageGee MK Star 75, and this was just a discarded keyboard when I received it. So, if you notice, and I'll zoom in a bit, or I'll bring it in, these two keys look different from the rest of the key switches. And the reason for that is when I received this, these were the two switches that were broken. I had some extra switches on hand, and so I soldered an M. What I figured happened was the person who had this keyboard thought that this was a hot swap. In other words, you could switch the keyboard switches out, but you cannot. This is a soldered in board. So I have one key, which is right here, which I checked initially, and these were the two I replaced. But I noticed also this one had latency, and you had to press and hold for it to register. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this one as well. So first step is to locate the screws, and I will have to probably remove some of the keys to figure out all the screw locations because I forgot. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so for this keyboard, the three screws are located here, here, and here. Let me zoom in so you can get a better look at that. So I position this area close up in the camera. Let me see if I can get the light on it. And what you'll see, and hopefully you can see if I can get that spotlight pretty good, there is the screw right there. And you want to get those screws. Okay, next up you want some kind of spudger tool, and for this particular keyboard I like to start at the front. So you want to use a plastic one, that way you prevent from marring your keyboard, of course. So we're going to lift this up a little bit and you can start hearing some things. Okay, so I just put my pry bar here and we're going to start working this keyboard upward or sideways and start to remove it. You can just work your way around, releasing the tabs, going all the way around, and that keyboard will start to come apart. Bring it up so you can actually see the tabs. Okay, see those little tabs there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front, and you could just stick that there and then work your way to the back, and you're gonna do the same thing, which is take your whatever your spudger tool is, or a plastic pry bar in particular, and be careful not to mar any, I would say, visible areas of your keyboard. This keyboard will not release. So if you've never seen what the inside of a keyboard look like, it's open. I'm gonna leave this foam in here. If you needed to clean the keyboard at this point, it's a good time to clean it. But I'm just gonna leave the foam in here and set it aside. Now, this is what I was talking about. A lot of people make the mistake at this step, and on the other side, think this is a hot swap keyboard. And I'll zoom the camera in so you can see why it's not. Okay, now that we're close in, as you can see, each one of these has an LED soldered to it with capacitors, and also each lead of the switch is soldered in. So if I can go in a little closer, see each one of these leads is soldered. So if you try to rip this out, you would damage the switch. All right, the first step for us to do is to desolder the bad switch. Okay, I decided to leave it in the housing, but I've already located my switch that needs to be replaced. It's right up here above this hole right here. There it is. And so we're gonna remove this one. Now there's a couple of tools you can use. Okay, so we're gonna look at this in two ways. We gotta take the switch out and also install the switch. So the tools you're gonna need to desolder. Now, one of these is pretty cool. This is designed to heat the solder up and suck the solder out at the top. So you press this in and it locks it in just like so. And then when it heats up the solder, you just press the button and then it releases and sucks the solder bead up, and then you can easily pull the switch out. Now, if you don't have this, you can use a regular soldering iron and some braiding. Okay, so like I was saying, you can use a little bit of flux and just the soldering iron by itself. Now, for some reason, I cannot find my little copper braiding, which takes up the solder. So it's funny how when you do a video, stuff just gets conveniently lost. But if you don't use these two, you can use the tool I showed before. And you're also going to need this as well with some solder to put the new switch in. So let's go ahead and get to it. And just as I was talking, I found my solder braid right here. So we can use that as well. All right. Guys, that worked pretty good. I tried it off camera first, but let's try that again. So I've already got this one done. So you just kind of sit it in there like so, and you'll see that solder, well, it already kind of melted right there. So just make sure I get enough, and it's piping hot. And that worked out excellent. So let me go ahead and unhook that. That worked out great. Okay, so now if we look, I'm trying to get in as close as I can for a second. And we look here, you might can see a difference. So look at the switch next to it compared to now. That little gun sucked up the solder and it did it fast and quick, and I think that's perfect. So now let's go ahead and see if we can remove that switch. And yes, it comes right up. So now we are going to use this tool right here. And normally I use this tool for the keycaps itself, but I think you still use this for the switches. Yeah, I think you can. Or I might have to get the smaller one, but let me see if I can get it out with this. Not necessarily. Okay, so this is the actual tool that I need for the switches. This should allow me to hook onto the switch and pull it out. And it's giving me a little fight. Oh, there we go. And that worked out just fine. So there is the old switch, which is no good. So let's put in some new switching, and I'll show you the switches that I have. Okay, so last time I went with these sort of light brown switches, and I know the colors mean something different, so I'll try to leave a diagram of what the colors mean as far as the tactileness. They're different from the red switches that were in there. I also have these yellow switches, but I think I want to go ahead and put the same switch I put in before. So let's put these in. Okay, so this is where I'm at. You'll notice that there are a few holes, and sometimes each pattern is different. Let me see if I can bring some light over. But what you want to do is make sure that that whole pattern lines up with the 2 pins that's on the switch. There's 2 pins. Hopefully you can see that there. 2 very thin pins. Then what you want to do is make sure, let me see if I can bring some light over, that you line it right in there. And then you'll see them come through on the other side. Snaps right in, no need to hold it. Now we just got to add some solder. Let's flip it to the back. And you can tell which one's the new one, of course, in here, because the ones I switched it for were this beige color, and the ones that originally came with it had black and red switches. So this is the new one here. So we're going to make it just like these two. All right. So what I like to do is start off with a little flux. It makes things a little easier. So I'm going to add some flux, and I know there's other type of fluxes. You don't need much. So I think next time around I might try some different types. This is sort of like a hard, pasty flux. But let me know in the comment section if you use a different kind of flux. That little bit should be enough. That's probably overkill for what we're doing. See if I can zoom in. And this video in particular is not about like soldering techniques and all that stuff. But let me know if you're interested. I'm not an expert in it, but I do use solder efficient enough for what I need it for. All right, we're gonna let this solder gun heat up, and then okay, I have my soldering iron set to 375, which may be a little hot for this application. And you want to make sure that that solder is melting. And let me know, I've always been taught to bring the solder to the solder point there. And forgive me if my camera is out of focus when I do this. So I just touch the point where I want the solder at, and I try not to leave it on there too long because you're mixing plastic components and you definitely don't want this stuff to get hot. So hot to the point where, you know, and that's all it takes, guys. You don't want it so hot to the point where you're melting the components in there. The flux made it easy. It's just a dab, and it's just that simple. All right, so I'm gonna get a close up so you can actually see right in there the new solder points, and we're gonna reassemble this bad boy. Get a closer look. I was just setting the soldering iron down. So that is the new switch. You can judge me in the comment section how I did. I think I did okay. I really need to go back. There was a Game Gear that I wanted to recap, and I think back then I wasn't confident enough, but I think I am now. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Okay, so there is a lot of keyboards that I have to repair that are in my backlog, and I don't mind doing these on camera, you know. And if you have any questions on these particular keyboards, I review them. I distribute, sell them, and review them. Now, if you look here, that is what the new switch looks like, but it's obviously a different color. This is just what I had on hand. And you can still see the LED is just not as like bright as this one, but you can see the LED in the background depending on your keys. So, with that being said, feels good. And let's get the screws back in on here. So we had 3 black screws. Like I said, without these screws, usually there's screws hidden under the keycaps, you will not be able to separate the keyboard. Okay. Okay. So now we just got to put those keys together. Let's see. Just looking at another keyboard for a reference. Plus minus goes there. We've got here. And where's the other keys at? Over here. We've also got M, N. We also got, it looks like J. Okay, so I'm gonna leave these open and we're gonna test register, make sure everything's working on screen. Okay, so right now I'm at keyboardchecker.com, and what I'm gonna do is show you as I press a letter, and as you can see I press a letter A, what will happen is it will register and let me know whether the keys are working. So, for example, if I hit the letter A, it will turn green. If I hit the letter S, it will turn green. This is the general area we're concerned about, especially the key we just switched. So let's press the number 4, and as you can see, 4 turns green. So now we can go ahead and put our keycaps back on, and let me make sure I put it in the right order. E, number 4. And the cool thing is, not only can you switch the switches out, but you can switch the keys out as well. Now, this would have gone to the waste, and everything works excellent. And this is a good way where I can test each key just to make sure that each one works and make sure they all light. Like, for example, F3 seems to not be working, so we might can switch that one out. F6 is doesn't seem to be, oh, F6 does register. F9, F8, F10, and this is probably what I should have done before I button it back up, just to make sure everything is working. 2, 3, 6, 7, But you can use this website. I'm going to continue to test it off of the screen, and let's conclude the video and talk about a couple of things about these particular skills and using it to repair something such as a mechanical keyboard.